Yes, thank you very much, Steve. Welcome everyone inside Stamford Bridge. Got a great choice of listening for you now, or at least I hope it will be. Chelsea against Manchester United in the Premier League here on 5 Live, which has just got underway. Manchester United in the red shirts, white shorts and black socks. Chelsea in the blue shirts, blue shorts with the white trim and the white socks. So this is the Premier League live match, and right now the Rugby League World Cup match between England and France is underway on Sports Extra, and Katie Smith has news.
Well, it's England 18, France 4. France just scoring in the last second, John. It was Desario going over from an England mistake a couple of metres out. Luke Thompson, the prop, scoring before that. England 18, France 4.
And commentary continues on Sports Extra with Matt Newsom and Paul Rowley. And just in case you're thinking, whatever happened to that nice Mark Chapman? Well, he is presenting the coverage of it on BBC Two, so you can watch that match on BBC Two. But this is what our focus. Jonathan Woodgate is here with me, former England international, Premier League defender, Champions League defender. And this has got lots of promise. Two sides who should have plenty of confidence, Jonathan.
Yeah, two sides have been playing really well of late, and especially keeping clean sheets, really solid at the back. But the two exceptional managers are in charge of them at the minute. Both have had slight problems with some of the players, but both teams are looking really strong.
Yeah. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. I'll run you through the teams in a moment or two. Chelsea making 4 changes from midweek. The 0-0 draw at Brentford, and that's a ball that's been charged down by Chilwell. Dallow's attempted clearance. Sterling, though, was in an offside position, so it's a free kick. And that gives me a chance to run through the teams. So Chelsea bringing in for this one, after they were rested in midweek, Aubameyang up front, Sterling as well, Thiago Silva at the back, Ben Chilwell on the left-hand side. Koulibaly's not involved. We've heard from Graham Potter, who says he's got a knee problem, Koulibaly, so that's why he's not involved at all. So Chelsea with Kepa in goal again, 5 consecutive clean sheets for him and Chelsea. 3 central defenders, Chalobah, Thiago Silva and Cucurella. So Azpilicueta, wing back in this one, the captain. Chilwell on the other side, Loftus-Cheek back in midfield alongside Jorginho, then Mount and Sterling, and Aubameyang through the middle. And Manchester United just the one change from the starting lineup against Tottenham on Wednesday night, as United play a ball across their back line, which they're going to struggle to keep in. They do. Shaw stretching for it. It's a throw into Chelsea. De Gea in goal, back 4 of Dalot, Varane, Martinez and Shaw. Casemiro and Eriksen, then Antony on the right, Fernandes the captain in the middle, Sancho on the left, and Marcus Rashford up front. Manchester United are unbeaten since the humiliation, really, of the Manchester derby, and they have kept clean sheets in their last 3 matches. So Chelsea not let a goal in the last 5, Manchester United not let a goal in the last 3. And here is Bruno Fernandes clearing the ball away downfield, having scored the clinching goal against Tottenham in midweek. And Chelsea played all the way back to Kepa, their goalkeeper, all in yellow. Kept his 50th Chelsea clean sheet on Wednesday night, so he's pictured on the front of the programme today as a result of that. Chilwell takes the ball up on the left-hand side and is just clipped by Antony, so it's a free kick for Chelsea inside their own half. John,
you talk about Kepa there, he deserves a lot of credit, John, because being out the team, it's not good, and he wasn't fancied on the previous managers, but since Graham Potter's came in, he's responded, and now he's the number 1, and now it's up to Mendy to get the position off Kepa. Yeah,
started the last 8, and this makes it 9 now, since taking the place of Mendy, who's on the bench, who is one of those players, isn't he, who's not playing but will be hoping, well, you would expect that he will be starting when it comes to Senegal at the World Cup, which is in 4 weeks' time. So it's a throw-in for Manchester United, way down below us. And of course, Cristiano Ronaldo, you will, I'm sure, know by now, not involved at all after walking off late on in the match on Wednesday night. United take the throw back towards the edge of their own penalty area. And forward from Varane, and then Antony just is clattered into by Cucurella. In fact, that's a little bit strong, isn't it? He made contact with him.
He made contact, didn't he?
Antony thought it should have been a free kick. Referee, who was Stuart Atwell, said no, it's not, it's a throw into Chelsea, which I think is probably about right.
But I think that's what Cucurella has to do to him, though. He has to get really close to him and Chilwell between him. He's the danger man, Antony. When he cuts in onto his left foot, you've seen in this season, bend balls round and into the far corner.
Chelsea play the ball down the left-hand side. Sterling's off chasing after it, but Manchester United have got it back. Raheem Sterling is Chelsea's top scorer this season, incidentally, in all competitions. with 4 goals, and we're over a quarter of the way through the season. I think that tells its own story, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I know Mason Mount will start chipping in and Aubameyang will start scoring on a regular basis, you'd expect, but you'd expect more than that for this Chelsea team.
So this is BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds this season. If you haven't clocked it yet, the 5:30 kickoffs on a Saturday afternoon are here on 5 Live and will be for at least the next 3 seasons. And this, as I say, between two sides in form. Chelsea in 4th, Manchester United in 5th, and Manchester United just a point behind Chelsea now after that nightmare start to the season, nightmare start to his time as manager that Erik ten Hag had, which, if you remember, started with a defeat to Brighton, at the time managed by Graham Potter. And Graham Potter standing down there on the touchline now, the manager of Chelsea, in his 8th match in all competitions as the manager of Chelsea. And Erik ten Hag, early days as well, just his 15th match in League and Cup with Manchester United. Chelsea with Chilwell clearing the ball away into the centre circle, and then Manchester United take possession again, and it's hit long and forward out towards the left-hand side, where Sancho gets the ball down. He's running at Chalobah into the penalty area, turns him one way and the other, lays it back towards the edge of the box, but Mason Mount is very quickly in ahead of Bruno Fernandes, and he was able to squirrel it away for Chelsea.
He was in a brilliant position there, Sancho. Do you know, if I was a centre-back in that situation there, I'd be over the moon when Sancho checks the goal back.
Loftus-Cheek wins a good header on the halfway line and heads it into the path of Aubameyang, who's into the box on the left but slips as he swings over the cross, and as a result gets right underneath it, overhits it. Cheers from the Manchester United supporters mocking him, and the ball's out for a throw-in to United in their left-back position.
I think that he only had Sterling to pick out as well, didn't he? I think there was 4 Man United bodies back, so it'd have been tough for Aubameyang to pick Sterling out there.
The other thing we should really mention with this match is that this, remember, is the match where the kick-off time was only nailed down a fortnight ago, and as a result the Manchester United away allocation has been reduced. This was after consultations between the police and the Premier League, so it was due to be nearly 3,000. In fact, it's 2,370, and initially the police wanted actually fewer Manchester United fans than that here, so they are in that section. I know that a lot of supporters were unhappy about this. Clearly many of them have not been able to come, and I know also there have been problems on the trains as well down the West Coast line today, so you know, sometimes you think, really, could not a great deal more be done to help the paying spectator?
It's brilliant for the away fans to come to London and watch the team playing. It adds to the atmosphere, John, especially when the away fans come and the buoyant and the goal up, they're even louder.
United taking their time to take this goal kick. It's a poor one to hear, but Chelsea couldn't take advantage. He actually hit it straight at Jorginho, who passed it straight into the path of Eriksen. And now Eriksen rolls it forward to Shaw, and Shaw takes it up towards the box, and Shaw shoots right across the face of goal. A low bouncing effort. He was trying to find that far bottom corner, but it was wide by a few feet.
It's a brilliant move, that. The reason why they got in, Shaw was bombing down the left-hand side, but if you watch Jadon Sancho's movement, he just took Chalobah inside, so Shaw was free. You can see what Man United are trying to do on that side of the pitch.
Goal kick to Chelsea. Luke Shaw, who has taken over from Malacia on the left-hand side since we last saw them together in the Manchester derby when it was Malacia. And Shaw now, this is 4 of the last 5 that he's started. So that's exactly what he and Gareth Southgate will want.
I watched Shaw the weekend and I thought he was brilliant. I watched him at the weekend and on Wednesday night against Spurs, and he was back to the Luke Shaw we all know.
Well, I spoke to him at Wembley last month after the England-Germany match about, you know, the need to get him in the team, and he was, you know, as he always is actually when you interview him, he's just one of those players who is incredibly honest, talking about his role, Harry Maguire's role, who's still out injured, and you know, he's got himself into the team.
It's down to him or Chilwell. I think Shaw's leading at the minute, who starts the World Cup.
And we've got them both here, haven't we? Shaw on one side and Chilwell on the other, so we'll keep a particular eye on them. 0-0, Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Chelsea take a throw, and then there's a stoppage in play because someone's taken a bang on the head over on the far side. So we'll have a stoppage And while that takes place, let's get another update from Bolton, the Rugby League World Cup. Katie Smith.
Well, we might have a bit of a game on our hands here. England 18, France 12. England were 18-0 up, playing with complete freedom. But France, in their first few glances at England's try line, are back in this. Pelissier's try just been given after a review by the video ref, adding to Morg's effort that we heard about just moments ago. An easy conversion too. So less than 4 minutes to play in this first half. England 18, France 12.
You've missed nothing. The play hasn't resumed yet. Azpilicueta's okay. It's just a coming together with Sancho, and the two of them just shaking hands actually. And it's a throw into Chelsea. Azpilicueta's okay. The captain, so he's got the rainbow armband on, because these 2 rounds of matches, these ones and the next ones, the Premier League are demonstrating their support for the Stonewall Rainbow Laces campaign for LGBTQ plus inclusion. So that's why you'll see those armbands and laces. Manchester United take possession, and here's Anthony now down the left, down the right wing for United. Moves in field, gives it to Eriksen, back to Dalot on the right flank. Dalot has Anthony at close quarters, but Dalot plays it into the edge of the box. Then Fernandes back to Anthony, who's got a little bit of space. Cucurella and all that hair arrives on the scene. Then it's back from Anthony to Bruno Fernandes. Now back to Anthony again, who thought about swinging in the cross. In fact, here we go. I thought we'd see that. A few of the tricks. Puts his foot on the ball, lifts it up, wiggles it around. Cucurella just stands off him, and Manchester United go back towards the halfway line.
He seems to like that role, doesn't he, Anthony? Cucurella's got his hands full. I just don't want to see Anthony come inside. I want to see Cucurella get really close to him and show him down the line, show him onto his right foot. Well, he's not natural going down that side, Johnny. Always wants to come inside and open the goal up.
And he did, as I said, it looked like he was thinking about swinging it in, but he decided better of it. And as a result, Manchester United have gone back and back to the halfway line, and now actually they've gone all the way back to David De Gea in the goal down to our left. David De Gea, this is his 502nd appearance for Manchester United now, just the 11th man to appear 500 times for Manchester United. That is longevity. I was talking to Peter Schmeichel downstairs, who still has more clean sheets for Manchester United than David De Gea. Here is Fernandes, back towards Eriksen. Now Shaw arriving on the left-hand side. Shaw's ball in behind Fernandes, who had to stretch back, then gives it square. Anthony, a curling shot, and Kepa went down to his right. Might have been going wide, might have been bending into the bottom corner, so Kepa pushed it away right-handed.
That was a brilliant save by Kepa, but Anthony just coming in off the line. Luke Shaw going down the left-hand side. It was a little touch by Fernandes. Yeah, I think it was going in, John. Yeah, brilliant strong hand there by Kepa, who's been in magic form since he come back in the team.
Yeah, great. Corner is taken short by Manchester United, and it's played in, and it's gone past everyone. And actually, referee Atwell has pointed to a goal kick, and Manchester United are furious. And when you see players reacting like this, I mean, I know, Jonathan, you footballers can lay it on thick, but that is a reaction that tells me that there was a Chelsea touch.
Yeah, it looked that way, didn't it, from Loftus-Cheek? Yeah, it was just a touch and off Chalobah.
But it was. It should have been a corner. It wasn't. It's a goal kick. Just glanced the top of his head, and the players, of course, close to him would be able to see
straight away, can't you?
You can. So Chelsea coming forward with Azpilicueta, who does well. A little drop of the shoulder and a shimmy, and he gives it to the right, and here's the cross that is put behind by a stretching Varane, with Aubameyang behind him. Varane had to deal with that, and he did, classically, as a central defender.
Absolutely magnificent bit of defending, because if he misses it, it's going to Aubameyang, and if he's slightly late, he's probably getting an own goal. He gets his body shape sorted out early doors, and he deals with the cross.
Super, wasn't it?
Brilliant,
excellent cross as well. And if he'd missed it, Aubameyang was in the perfect position. Still 0-0, 5 live. Corner is taken short this time from Chelsea over on the far side. Back comes Sterling near the right corner of the box. Sterling's cross, glanced by Chalobah right across the penalty area, cleared away. Cucurella, ball sort of yorked him, didn't it? Cucurella went straight through him, and he had to turn and give it back to the halfway line. I think his hair's getting even longer, Cucurella.
Bushier,
it is,
isn't it?
I think it is. I suppose technically it would, wouldn't it? That's the way it works.
Like a slight conifer, maybe.
Yeah.
Conifer-ish.
Conifer, yeah. Scots pine Something like that. It looks a little bit more sort of Weeping Willow, doesn't it? Here's Loftus-Cheek, plays the ball to the left-hand side, and then Chilwell down into the full-back position. Varane comes across, gets it all wrong this time. Poor touch, bounced off his shin, might have hit his other shin, went out of play. Not quite so classical from the great former Real Madrid man this time, so it's out of play for a throw. 7 or 8 yards back from the corner flag. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Another eventful Saturday afternoon. We'll round it all up for you. If you've just got into your car, you've been at a match, you're listening now to Chelsea Manchester United, as United long throw into the box. Eriksen's able to get it away. Chalobah plays it out towards the far side. Chalobah hit that in good pace, actually.
Some touch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was by Azpilicueta, keeping it in play. And then Mount, oh, that was short, back to Chalobah. Chalobah just did enough. And then Chalobah again on the stretch. Last gasp stuff, and in the end it is Manchester United who have the ball back. And as they play from left to right in this first half, Manchester United, so attacking the Matthew Harding stand to our right. They take it up towards the halfway line. Here's Anthony. He's already gone close in this match. We saw him score a terrific goal, didn't we? Last time we saw him together in the Manchester derby, which started the non-comeback, as Eriksen now gives it square across the centre circle. Anthony with Dalot arriving. Dalot goes for an Anthony-style step over, but rather more laboured than Anthony, who's able to get into the challenge, but Chilwell was onto him quickly. It's going to be a good test, this, with Dalot and Anthony up against Cucurella and Chilwell. Through the middle this time, Manchester United. Fernandes now to Sancho. Sancho in the box, back to Fernandes. First time touch from him. Shaw controls it, still in the Chelsea box, and he gave it to Sancho, who was in an offside position. So the flag went up, and the Chelsea fans approved of that. I think they knew it was coming, that one.
I just wanted Shaw there to take it out of his feet, one touch out of his feet and shoot. They're getting opportunities now, United. Fernandes is picking up some brilliant spaces in the centre of the pitch. Jorginho is finding it difficult to pick him up, but that was a time when Shaw could have really let go.
Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. 16 minutes played here at Stamford Bridge on this dry, autumnal October afternoon. And it's half-time in the England-France World Cup match in Bolton. Katie Smith.
Yeah, England 18, France 12 for half an hour. Total one-way traffic, John. England's Ryan Hall with 2 tries in 11 minutes. Luke Thompson pummeling his way over as well. But France pounced on their first bit of momentum in the closing minutes. Essentially 2 attacks, 2 tries. They've got right back into this. The winner is all but secured a quarter-final spot. England 18, France 12 at half-time.
Not much in it, though. So Sports Extra for the radio commentary on that. It is on BBC 2. This is Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Anthony going closest with that curling shot that Kepa saved, full stretch. And it is Chelsea with the ball halfway inside their own half. Thiago Silva just moves away from Rashford and now gives it to Cucurella. And Cucurella's ball over the halfway line for Loftus-Cheek, who tried to take it on but just got a heavy touch, and Varane was able to see it back to the goalkeeper, De Gea. Ball chested down by Casemiro, but that's given away. And now Jorginho. Fernandes comes in, but Jorginho keeps possession. Now to his left to Loftus-Cheek, then Sterling. Back to Cucurella, infield towards Chilwell. Cucurella again. Manchester United trying to put the press on, but Chelsea are playing around it. Thiago Silva goes for one of those long right-footed central defender passes, but overhits this. There was no way Azpilicueta was reaching that, and it's all the way through for a goal kick.
He normally's very good with those passes as well, isn't he? He's normally pinpoint, but if you look at it, John, especially with Dalot going to press Chilwell, there's spacing behind Dalot, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek is looking to run in behind that spot on Man United's right hand side, and he can exploit that because there is space.
Yeah. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. The television cameras have just picked out the unfortunate Reece James. So he's involved in this rehabilitation, this knee problem that he's got, and he's not ruling out the possibility of being available for the World Cup, but it looks as though he's really up against it. I mean, effectively it looks as though he's out of it, but we'll see. Might make a miraculous recovery.
You hope he does, because he's an outstanding footballer.
Yes, although
especially in that wing-back role.
Well,
and we have a few, haven't we?
We've
got a few.
Yes, but they're beginning to run out.
Yeah, they are.
Kyle Walker needs to get himself fit, but he said he was confident of being fit. Here's Varane in the centre circle. Casemiro now chipping it forward with his right foot. Sancho over there on the white line now begins to move infield. Eriksen tried to give him it back, but Sancho stopped his run, and the ball just ran through harmlessly to Kepa, who picks it up now on the edge of the 6-yard box. And the other thing about Reece James was, I don't know whether you actually saw the picture of him in the stands here, he was wearing a big green coat and seemed to have green hair. Is that me? That wasn't a hat, was it?
It was green.
It was lurid, lime green hair.
I remember when I was a young player, I was probably 17 actually, and I turned up to training with my hair dyed blonde. The manager at the time was George Graham.
Go down well, that did it?
Like a lead balloon, as you can imagine. Eddie Gray took me straight down to the barbers in Wetherby and made me shave it off. So my mum turned up to a game I was playing at Harrogate. So I had this shaven blonde hair with my dark circles under my eyes. She didn't know who it was.
Manchester United through the middle. Anthony plays the ball. He's looking for Sancho, who's going to struggle to get there. Put his foot on the ball on the white line, but it was over. The assistant has flagged, and it's behind for a goal kick. So goal kick to Chelsea. So Reece James has obviously kept himself busy. And it's not just green, it's absolutely bright green.
Green, yeah.
Which, I mean...
Not for you, John.
I think probably those days have gone. I think, just about.
Same with me.
Yeah. You, me, Ian Dennis, who's celebrating another birthday today. Ian?
60th.
It's closing in. Here's Sancho on the left-hand side, back to Casemiro. Casemiro on the far side is then fouled by Mount. They don't like it over there in the West Stand. They're waving their arms around. You heard the groans, but from a long way away, that looked like a clear foul by Mason Mount on Casemiro. He did go down very easily, Casemiro, actually, when we see it again.
Mount wasn't happy, was he?
No, he wasn't. Free kick then on the left-hand side. So I'll take that back. It was a cheap one. Eriksen to take this. Christian Eriksen, who's not started in the last 3 matches, couple of substitute appearances, so a little breather for him, but back in the starting lineup here at Stamford Bridge, where it's 0-0 on 5 Live. And free kick taken short, and it's played back by Fernandes to Sancho. And now Sancho back centrally to Fernandes, but Chelsea well drilled here. Anthony takes it on past Chalobah. In comes Mount with a challenge, makes contact, but Anthony went down. And Stuart Atwell says that's a free kick. This will be 30 yards out, maybe slightly more, right of centre.
Anthony was just too sharp for him when he received the ball. He just rolled the stud of his left foot over the ball, and Chalobah just brought him down. He looked so sharp there, Anthony. And do you know, when you're playing against wingers like that, they're really hard to deal with, because if you make one challenge straight away and you get a yellow card, the next minute it's difficult. I watched Dan Burn, exactly the same scenario against Anthony, and it was tough for him all afternoon. He's a live wire, Anthony.
He certainly is. This is his 10th appearance, 3 goals so far. Remember, he scored on his debut against Arsenal. Free kick then, this one from distance. As I say, this is certainly 30 yards and more. Rashford is going to have a go, which he does, and it hits Jorginho, who wasn't in the wall actually, the 3-man wall. He was just moving slightly behind it. It hit him on the hip and bounced away across the penalty area, and Chelsea are able to clear. And Shaw challenging for it. It bounces out of play. Took a deflection off Aubameyang, and it's a throw-in to... who's he giving it to? No, he's giving it to Chelsea. It must have come off short, and it's a free kick to Chelsea inside their own half. So Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0, midway through the first half. The big story of the day so far, Liverpool's defeat at Nottingham Forest. So that will be on Match of the Day tonight. Manchester City winning 3-1 against Brighton, with Haaland scoring another couple of goals. So that's 17 in the Premier League now for him, 17 in 11 appearances. So 3-1 against Brighton. Everton beat Crystal Palace 3-0, so a good win for Frank Lampard's side to return to form in Scotland in the Premiership. A real to and fro match. We've already heard from Ange Postecoglou. Celtic winning 4-3 at Hearts, and Rangers held 1-1 by Livingston. Play underway again here. Manchester United into the penalty area with Sancho on the left-hand side. The 2 defenders there, Azpilicueta and Chalobah. And between them, they're able to deflect it behind for a corner to United from the left.
When Rashford drops off the left-hand side, he looks he looks like he can just glide past players. He's got that pace, that balance, and he did it there and ended up getting a corner from it. Sancho ended up with the shot. Man United are playing quite well, John, when you're watching this game. They're doing okay.
Corner then, Eriksen to take, but Chelsea have defended well. Eriksen takes it out towards the corner of the box. Sancho then square. Rashford into the penalty area. Fernandes tried to give him it back with a back heel, but Cucurella went with Rashford and was able to get something on it to prevent it from reaching Rashford. Chelsea can't get it away, and Fernandes has got space here, just outside the box, gives it square. Anthony lifts one over the top, but that's a poor ball. Oh, and it's been juggled behind by Kepa. I don't know whether it actually turned at right angles when it landed, because it was flicked over the top, and it was a real butterfingers, wasn't it, from Kepa as the ball bounced up and squirmed away from him, and it might just have really kicked on off the turf.
It was the spin that got him. Balled, as they'd say.
Turned square. So it's another corner. Eriksen to take this away on that far side. And Eriksen actually had the option to take a shot, which he has done. It's been given back to Eriksen, then towards Sancho, thought about a shot, beats Azpilicueta into the penalty area, worked back to the edge of the area, but Cucurella was there for Chelsea, and he was able to clear it away on the edge, and out of play for a throw on the halfway line. Took it short, didn't really threaten the Chelsea goal with it. So Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. In the Rugby League World Cup, half-time, England 18, France 12, and tomorrow on BBC Radio Sport we'll bring you commentary on all 5 Premier League matches that are being played, either on 5 Live, on Sports Extra, or online via the BBC Sport website. And here on 5 Live it'll be Southampton against the leaders Arsenal at 2 o'clock, and then at 4:30 I'll be across London, Jonathan, watching 2 of your former clubs, Tottenham and Newcastle.
A decent game.
Yeah, it will be good.
Game.
There might not be a lot in that one either.
No.
Clinton Morrison's going to be with me for that. I haven't seen Clinton for a little while. Ball's played back to Chelsea, and Chilwell couldn't keep it in. It was over the line, so it's a throw into Manchester United. That was a little bit sloppy from Chelsea.
Chelsea haven't been great in the game.
Defended well.
They've defended well. Yeah, they've been solid-ish, but I'd say Man United could even drive up another gear and take this game to Chelsea.
As Loftus-Cheek in midfield loses out. Good work from Casemiro. Fernandes back to Rashford. Rashford takes it on. Good stop by Kepa. Came out. I thought he was past him, I have to be honest. I thought he'd got that touch, but Kepa got the more important touch, and Rashford couldn't get through. It was all at close quarters, but it was one-on-one, and Kepa made the save.
Kepa did really well. Come out and close the space early, but I'm expecting Rashford to do better in that situation. I'm expecting him to hit the target or get past the keeper or go around him. And I've seen Rashford now for the last 3 games I've watched live, against Newcastle, when he came on, against Tottenham, and now. And he should score more goals. He's got to score more goals. Sometimes he goes for power when he can just curl it, pass it into the back of the net.
Yeah, he needs to score goals for Manchester United. He is their top scorer this season with 5 goals in all competitions. Long ball cross field to the far side that Shaw got a foot to and then couldn't keep in, and then he's quite cynically there, Luke Shaw. Azpilicueta was off the field trying to pick the ball up, and it was one of those, I'm sure you've done it, Jonathan, those sort of accidentally on purpose sort of, although I just ran into him there, I didn't see him, and I've knocked him over and he's not been able to take a quick throw. And that's a little bit unfortunate. Never mind. And he's got away with it. I thought he might, really. That's verging on a yellow card, that, if not over the line.
Yeah. And do you know, we talk about just side footing the ball in the goal. Robbie Keane used to be the best in training sessions. He used to just say to the younger strikers, well, just side foot it in. Just side. You don't need to blast it. You don't need to put your foot through it. Side footed into the far corner. More precision.
Rashford, that chance, it's actually good. So his sweeping arm, his right arm that Kepa saved it with, and he did well. He's doing
brilliant.
Goalkeeper
Kepa.
on form.
Oh, he's doing brilliant, and it's nice to see the manager staying with him, keeping all the clean sheets, playing well, bringing a presence to the Chelsea team, and can play. That's really important for a Graham Potter team. Your goalkeeper can play. He had it at Brighton with Sanchez.
And all those saves against Aston Villa last weekend as well. Remember, they were significant in the week's events. And Manchester United coming forward. Still 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Fernandes plays it infield, and then actually late flag, so it's a free kick to Chelsea halfway inside their own half. But Manchester United have been the dominant force without question. Most of the match has been played in the Chelsea half.
Yeah, being the better team, more possession, more chances created, better openings, more 18-yard box entries. You can definitely say that. I mean, Mount, Sterling haven't really been in the game. Chelsea haven't got the players who are going to win them the game involved. I think Man United have been very good.
Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Both matches last season finished 1-1 between these sides. The season before, they both finished 0-0. And actually, Chelsea have won only 2 of the last 13 matches against Manchester United. And they were both FA Cup games at Wembley, semi-final and a final. Here's Kepa inside their own penalty area, plays it from the ground, but plays it straight into the path of Luke Shaw, who just calmly gives it to Casemiro, whose pass over the top is headed way down on the edge of the box by Cucurella. Now Jorginho, and the Chelsea supporters urging their team on. They know they've been up against it here. Sterling back to Jorginho, now Loftus-Cheek through the middle. Jorginho again looks up, but he's got Antony in front of him. In fact, Antony clatters into Jorginho. That was late, as Jorginho had played it away, and actually the yellow card is out for Antony for that, for the lateness of the challenge on the Chelsea number 5 in the centre circle.
Yeah, it was a yellow card, but I'm thinking now when Chelsea are breaking, go. Bodies get forward, but Man United get in the shape and back and compact, and it's harder than for Chelsea to play through Man United. You can see the crowd getting slightly frustrated with Chelsea at the minute, being a bit loose in possession, being a bit cheap, giving it away.
Jorginho waiting to take the free kick in the centre circle. Looks to his right, looks to his left. Not a great deal of movement there. Gives it to Cucurella, Chilwell and Loftus-Cheek, and then Cucurella actually goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Yeah, how that's going down around the east stand down in front of us. We're right up here at the back of the stand. Brilliant view from here. You're still quite close to the pitch as Chilwell plays it down the left wing, but that comes off Dalot and bounces out of play, and it's a throw-in level with the edge of the Manchester United box. Chilwell takes this to Aubameyang. Chilwell again, that jet black hair, slick back, Ben Chilwell. Cucurella then infield, and now Loftus-Cheek centrally, gives it to Chalobah to the right-hand side. This is the 30th match that Chalobah has started for Chelsea in all competitions, and in those, certainly the previous 29, they have never lost. Ball forward towards Mount now. Mount pulls the ball back onto his right foot, the scorer of the 2 goals against Aston Villa last week that won the match, while Kepa made the saves at the other end. But Chelsea, Chilwell loses it. Manchester United have won it back. Casemiro at the heart of that, and it's played forward for Rashford, and Rashford up towards the edge of the area. Chelsea defenders there, shot low, good save from Kepa, down to his right. That was on target. Eriksen slides in to keep possession for Manchester United in the middle of the Chelsea half. Shaw is able to get to the ball first ahead of Sterling, and it's another save from Kepa to put on the list today, as Manchester United still keep possession. Eriksen holds off Mount as he comes in, just strong there, really, turns and plays it back to Varane, and Varane now works it wide to Antony, and Antony hits a high cross right towards the far side where Sancho in the area gets it down. He shoots low, and Kepa goes down and holds it well, actually, because Rashford was right there, but securely held by the Chelsea keeper.
Chelsea getting played off the pitch here, John, when you watch this. Man United are dominant in every area of the pitch, and if you look off the ball, the work Casemiro does in the centre of that pitch, he just fills in. When a Dalot goes forward or a Luke Shaw goes forward, he fills in. He's an organiser. It's brilliant to watch him live.
Having been there and seen the game against Tottenham on Wednesday night, Jonathan, how does this compare from Manchester United so far to that performance?
No, it's the same, really. They're very good, especially when they have the ball and they're creating chances. Rashford's getting into good areas. Sancho, Antony, they're mixing the play up. I mean, they didn't have Eriksen, they had Fred. Fred played ever so well the other day as well, but Eriksen's coming in, him and Casemiro are just controlling this game.
Yeah, Casemiro, this is now 6 starts in a row for Casemiro. Took his time with him, bringing him in, using him as a substitute, but now he looks like a fixture. Chelsea are going to make a change. Someone's got a problem. Kovacic is coming onto the field. 10 minutes to go to half-time, and Chelsea are going to make a change. Graham Potter. I'm saying somebody's got a problem, or perhaps...
I think it's a tactical one. I think they might go back 4, you know.
Yeah, as Chelsea do play it forward. And here is Mount on the left-hand side. Mount, right-footed ball, took a little deflection and then was a stretch and a clearance away by Martinez on his left foot. I'm not sure I've even mentioned Martinez's name yet in the game.
It's always a good sign when you're a centre-half.
Centre-half, to not be mentioned.
They're getting outnumbered in the centre of the pitch as well.
Yeah, I think
Chelsea with
Jorginho
Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek. There's basically 3 against 2. Then sometimes Rashford's dropping in as well to make it a 4.
But there is space now for Loftus-Cheek to pass it forward to Sterling, and Sterling can turn and attack the penalty area, and then the cross from the right is overhit by the arriving Azpilicueta. I mean, that was an opening there, and he's got that badly wrong, the Chelsea captain. Just overhit it by a distance.
I think it was too much pace he tried to put on that.
And it is going to be Cucurella. He's off. Yeah, so back 4, as you said. So Manchester United with the 4-3-3. Chelsea going to change to 4 at the back. And, you know, that's proactive management, isn't it? 10 minutes to go to half-time. I mean, how often do you see that? A manager making a tactical change in the first half? Almost never.
No, almost never. They normally wait till half-time. I think it's the easier option, but they've done it there, and I think it was the right thing to do. They were getting outnumbered in the middle of the pitch, and Man United were sort of running riot, but without the goals. But this should change the game, especially with matching them up in the centre of the pitch. Kovacic has got legs in there. Jorginho, Loftus-Cheek.
Oh, what's going on here? Mason Mount is involved in a bit of a bother with Martinez, and Martinez reacted by shoving away Mount. So I'm not sure whether something was said. Referee Atwell is going to call across Mason Mount, who's just backing away with his hands on his hips, and he's certainly unhappy about something, Mason Mount.
I just lip-read Martinez. He said, "Capasa," that means what's up. And he just looked at him in the eye, didn't he?
Okay.
But you know what he's like, he's that centre-half, he's in Selly, he's not backing down to no one, is he?
I have to confess,
Martinez.
It was something of a relief when you said that was all Capasa means.
Yeah.
I thought for a minute there I might have to grab your microphone.
Red button.
Red button. Not that red button, the other red button. Right, well, it's all calmed down. Capasa, not much.
Capasa. Chelsea
0, Manchester United 0. Oh, live and learn. I know, I've been in Spain with you. You're very handy in Spain. As Kovacic is fouled by Casemiro, so that's a free kick. And Chelsea are going to take their time here. And Kovacic stays on the ground. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. So let's go back to Bolton then while we've got the stoppage. Latest on England-France from Katie Smith.
England 24, France 12. I think Sean Wayne told his side to be ruthless at half-time. A brilliant move then from the host, finished off by Elliot Whitehead, adding to his 2 tries against Samoa last week, and a 100% kicking record so far as well for Salford's Mark Sneed. England on the attack again. It's England 24, France 12.
Chelsea move it forward quickly. Sterling in the box, managed to work it square to Aubameyang, who was able to get the shot in at goal. And I think De Gea was a little worried, but it rolled wide by a foot of the bottom of the left post.
I think Dalot just did enough. He just got his body in the way slightly. Just see Martinez stretching his hamstring up. He's okay because of the partnership with him. And Varane is a strong one. You don't want to see the best players coming off the pitch.
That's the first opportunity I've written down on my piece of paper here for Chelsea. The other end, Anthony with the curling shot. Rashford was in, Kepa made the save. Low shot from Kepa from Rashford, another save from Sancho. So that tells you that Manchester United have had the better of it, but it's still 0-0 by these two teams who have been clean sheet specialists in recent weeks. Here is Jorginho, passes it to the right-hand side. Sterling now up against Sean Eriksen. Sterling chips it across. Varane was able to get up and head it away on the edge of the box. Jorginho tried a little clever flick to find a way through, but that didn't work, and the ball in the end takes a double deflection and bounces away behind for a goal kick to the visitors. And David De Gea just having a little word with Martinez there, who is just leaning over and touching his toes a couple of times.
I've been in that situation before as a centre-back, when you think to yourself, if I felt something in my hamstring,
Okay.
and he keeps on touching it, it's not a nice feeling, because then you don't want to sprint.
No Harry Maguire at the minute. Harry Maguire, who's now missed the last 6 matches. I think what happens with him and to him will be very interesting over the course of the next month. Dalot taking the ball down the right-hand side for Manchester United, comes back, Anthony, square from him to Eriksen. Eriksen now onto his right foot, has a goal for goal, but bounces wide, actually by a couple of yards. Kepa also, I think, had it covered as well. Goal kick.
He had it covered there. But I tell you who else has been impressive since Ten Hag came in is Dalot. He looks rejuvenate, the Portuguese international. I watched him when he was a young player, playing for Porto, I think it was, at under 19 level.
Yep.
You could see he had a real ability then. Oh no, sorry, it was the Portuguese national team I was watching him for.
But it was Porto's, his club. As Chilwell brings it forward, curls it in, Aubameyang couldn't get the touch on it. I wondered whether the flag might have been up, but it didn't. It was not raised on the far side. And actually, Aubameyang there, it was almost a little bit like Haaland, wasn't it? Oh, lovely touch from Anthony, beats Chilwell, and Thiago Silva plays it forward to Rashford. Rashford then gets it back from Bruno Fernandes. Rashford wasn't able to find the pass to the edge of the penalty area, and then Eriksen catches the heels of Loftus-Cheek, concedes the free kick. Chelsea with a free kick in the middle of their own half. But at the other end, Aubameyang with that opportunity, it was at that sort of height, where, remember Haaland with that extraordinary finish.
Aubameyang's 33. That's probably the reason why.
And he's 22.
Yeah.
So, as a result, you wondered whether he could have gone for it with a header, but it was the awkward height, and he was stretching with his foot.
Chelsea look a lot more settled now with the change of formation. With the 4-3-3, or if you want it, 4-2-3-1. They look a lot more settled.
Yeah, gonna make a note of that.
Kind of matched Man United up, haven't they, in that area of the pitch?
Yeah, 35th minute that was when Graham Potter made that move. That might feature in the interviews post-match a little later on. You'll hear them during the course of 6:06. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0, and another try in the England-France match in Bolton. Katie?
Yeah, England's starting to run away now in this group match at the Rugby League World Cup. England 30, France 12. Victor Radley on the score sheet this time. Australian-born, said, "I want to bleed for England." His dad is English. Now he scored his first try for the World Cup hosts. England 30, France 12.
Loftus-Cheek is able to have a go at goal here, but he was being challenged at the time by Eriksen, and the shot was straight at De Gea, and it lacked a bit of power as well from maybe 22 yards, so it was straight at the Manchester United goalkeeper, who was able to make the save. But Chelsea are back onto it again. Mount now, Mount back to Sterling, Sterling across to Aubameyang, but an important touch, a really important touch from the sliding Dalot, who came in just to deflect it away from him. And it's behind them. That is actually giving us a goal kick.
I think he just put him off, John. I think it was just last ditch. You can see he gets back into his shape quick. He sees the danger with Aubameyang just pulling off Varane, and he just gets back in.
So no one got a touch.
No.
It was straight through from Sterling's pass.
Sometimes you've just got to do enough.
And should Aubameyang have done better there?
Yeah, he needs to maybe anticipate it a bit better.
So straight through for a goal kick. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0.
With the formation now at Chelsea 4-3-3, the two wingers, Mount and Sterling, are playing right inside.
Yes, it's
trying to
very narrow, isn't it?
Narrow, they're trying to now overload Manchester United.
Yeah, in the central area. Sterling playing it back to Mount, but certainly since the change, in the 36th minute actually, things have improved for Chelsea. And now there's another little foul by Sancho on Mount on the halfway line. Loftus-Cheek it was, on the halfway line, and it's a free kick to Chelsea again. It has been littered with those fouls. It's one where the referee has got to be on his game, because That's not a coincidence.
They do seem more settled, Chelsea don't now, John. They've settled down a bit, haven't they, in this shape now. They're not getting overloaded in the centre. Good move by Potter. You do have to say that.
Yeah. So half-time approaching. We'll have more interviews for you from the day's event. Manchester United through the middle. The ball is played towards the right-hand side, and there's the chance for the opening goal, which is hit wide by Anthony, who was onto it. Set up brilliantly on the break by Manchester United. Fernandes rolled it into his path, and the shot from Anthony rattled the hoardings behind the goal, ran round behind it, and I think many of the United fans in the ground could have been forgiven for thinking that it had ended up in the net, not behind it.
I thought it was in as well. It's a big chance. It's a big chance. He has to take that. A player of Anthony's quality. But if you're talking about wingers now, he's brilliant on his left foot. Work on your right foot as well, because you'll get opportunities there where you can just slide the ball in, or even if a right back or a left back showing you down the line, you can take it then and whip a ball in. Always work on your weaker foot.
Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Jonathan Woodgate with us here, high in the East Stand at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea with Jorginho playing a ball high out to the left-hand side. Chilwell got a heavy touch on that. Dalot came in and was able to put it out of play for a throw-in. Away down in front of us. Here's the substitute. Kovacic driving it in towards the edge of the box, cleared away by Martinez.
Deal with that.
Yeah.
That was fired right in.
Martinez got the more meaningful touch. Chelsea again through the middle. This time Jorginho, lovely pass into Mount inside the penalty area, but that was held up by Dalot. Well played again by the right back, and it's through for a goal kick. And that's it, half-time, with exactly 1 minute of added time played. So Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. United creating more of and the better opportunities. Kepa with a couple of very good saves, certainly from Anthony and from Rashford as well. But Chelsea, crucially in the match, Graham Potter making that tactical change, bringing on Kovacic, taking off Cucurella, and since then Chelsea have improved. Yeah,
they have improved the last 10 minutes, but they needed to make that change, and it's a sign of a good manager to do that after 35 minutes. But I do have to say that the first 35 minutes, Man United looked good. The balance in midfield, and they were creating chances. Rashford, Sancho, Anthony coming in off the right-hand side, and to be honest with you, John, they're unlucky not to be up for me, Man United. Until they changed the shape, Man United could have been a couple of goals up. Kepa's made some good saves.
So there we are, Chelsea, who've kept 5 clean sheets in the last 5 matches. Manchester United, who've kept 3 clean sheets in their last 3. And at half-time here at Stamford Bridge, it is Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Who'd have thought?
I suppose you've got to say, Jonathan, that's credit to Graham Potter in that, you know, it's a pretty obvious thing to do. If you change it that quickly, you're basically saying, well, my well-thought-out plan was wrong. I got it wrong. Better change it now and not wait for half-time.
Yeah, I just thought the way the Man United have set up as well, they've been difficult to play against. And full credit to him. Some managers wait till half-time, but half-time could have been too late. There could have been a couple of goals down, and you can see why Graham Potter didn't want to leave it any longer, because Man United were playing very well in that first half. They were fluent in the movement. Eriksen, Casemiro, Fernandes picking up little areas of space, and then Anthony driving inside. They've had some good opportunities, Man United, in this first half, but it's settled down a lot now.
Jonathan, John, thank you very much for the time being. So half-time, Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0 at Stamford Bridge. Quick reminder of the other big stories from the day. So in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest are off the bottom of the table after a 1-0 victory over Liverpool. Theo Awoniyi with the only goal against his former club. Erling Haaland only scored twice for Manchester City as they beat Brighton 3-1 at the Etihad, and it finished Everton 3, Crystal Palace 0. So Everton end a run of 3 straight defeats. Queen's Park Rangers are top of the Championship on goal difference after a 2-1 win against Wigan. Blackburn are level on points with them after their own 2-1 victory over Birmingham. There was a brilliant comeback from Burnley this afternoon. 2-0 down at Sunderland. They've come back to win 4-2. Plymouth stay top of League One despite being held to a draw at Bristol Rovers. Leyton Orient back on top of League Two after winning at Carlisle. Stevenage lost at home to Northampton. Celtic lead the Scottish Premiership by 4 points, winning a 7-goal thriller at Hearts this afternoon. Rangers in second were held at home by Livingston. And England will face China, Denmark and one of Chile, Senegal or Haiti in the Women's World Cup next year. The full draw is on the BBC Sport website. England are playing France in their second match at the Men's Rugby League World Cup. Katie Smith is watching.
Yeah, England 30, France 12. We've had tries for Whitehead and Radley in this second half already. Steve, we've had a bit of a stoppage though for centre Callum Watkins. A head-on-head clash while he was carrying the ball. He was able to walk off the field a couple of moments ago. Potentially not looking great for him though, up against Greece next week. France though in a dangerous position at the moment, a couple of metres out. England 30, France 12.
You can listen to commentary on 5 Sports Extra, or you can watch it right now on BBC Two. Earlier it finished Fiji 60, Italy 4. England's cricketers started their T20 World Cup with a 5-wicket victory over Afghanistan. Scotland are out of the Women's Rugby Union World Cup after being thrashed by New Zealand. Wales's hopes of progressing hang in the balance after they lost to Australia. Saracens continued their 100% record in the Gallagher Premiership, beating Exeter 22-20 with the last kick of the game. And Bath got their first win of the season, beating Northampton 27-14. We've got lots of reaction stacked up before second half commentary at Stamford Bridge, so we'll try and get through all of it. I can see Steve Cooper, Pep Guardiola, Frank Lampard, Patrick Vieira, Mick Beale all lined up ready to go after Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Steve. Boris Johnson's supporters say he's got the required support of 100 Tory MPs needed to enable him to enter the party leadership race and potentially return as Prime Minister. But Rishi Sunak's backers say they want to see a list of those who are supporting Mr Johnson. The former Chancellor passed the 100 mark earlier, but still hasn't officially declared his candidacy. Nominations close on Monday afternoon. Tonight, the Sunday Times is reporting that Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak are meeting today. Mr Johnson flew back into the country this morning. Kemi Badenoch, who stood in the last leadership election, meanwhile, has just announced in the last few minutes that she's supporting Mr Sunak. Elsewhere tonight, a further 5 people have been arrested in connection with the large-scale disorder in Leicester last month. There have now been more than 50 people detained in relation to the unrest, which saw clashes between groups of mainly young men from Muslim and Hindu communities. 2 people were jailed last week for their involvement. And 2 Labour mayors have called on the government to deal with what they describe as rail chaos affecting the north of England. Andy Burnham, the Mayor for Greater Manchester, and Liverpool City Region Mayor Steve Rotherham have urged ministers to increase funding for TransPennine Express and Northern trains. They were late to their own press conference earlier because their train was cancelled.
Essential football listening.
Great ball! And it's a great goal!
Europe's elite club competition.
Double Bill Tuesdays are back in the Champions League. On Tuesday, RB Salzburg host Chelsea. Kick-off 5:45. And from 8, Borussia Dortmund take on Manchester City. And on Wednesday, it's Spurs against Sporting Lisbon. Kick-off 8 p.m.
Europe's elite club competition.
The Champions League.
This is 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Sports Report. This is BBC 5 Live.
It's Torquay United 0, Altrincham 2 later score in the National League. Big story of the day came in the 12:30 kickoff in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest beating Liverpool by 1-0 at the City Ground. Teo Awoniyi with the only goal. That win takes Forest off the bottom of the table. Their manager Steve Cooper has been telling Juliet Ferrington just how big a result it is.
It's a brilliant win, of course. One, because we needed a win. We've been on a poor run of form. You know, a big game for the club and the supporters because of the history around the fixture. This would definitely been a game that the fans would have looked at when the fixtures came out after getting promoted. So the fact that we've made it the day it is, really pleased for all generations of Forest fans. So yeah, like I said, the sporting side of it, just a massive win because we needed it. But in my opinion, we were good for it. You know, the way we defended, the chances that we created, counter-attacks in the first half. We knew the game would look how it looked because it's Liverpool. But in the end, I think to win a game against Liverpool, you need to have huge moments in both boxes. And we managed to do that today with Dean and obviously the goals and chances we created, or the goal, I should say.
The fans were in the mood. You could sense that coming to the ground. The beer gardens, the pubs were full.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was great at 0-0 at half-time. That was a huge roar. But when that goal went in, Awoniyi, it went off.
Yeah, it was. But honestly, it's been like that all season, you know. And honestly, if you get the chance to come more often, you'll have exactly the same experience. So no surprises with the atmosphere, and I'm just pleased that they've been so good with us this year. You know, it's only our second win in, I think, and we've only won 2 games. So for them to walk away early on a Saturday, where maybe they can enjoy the rest of the day now, is the least they deserve.
Steve Cooper with Juliet Farrington. I'm sure all generations of Nottingham Forest fans will be welcome on 606 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. 08085 909 693. The lines are officially open. And England have scored another try against France. Katie Smith.
Yeah, we're looking at another huge scoreline. Steve, England 36, France 12. We've still got 20 minutes to play. It was off the back of some brilliant defending as well, keeping France metres away from their line. Then a ruthless move, missile offloads, quick hands, and 6'7" Dom Young out on the wing, finishing it off on the right. Mark Sneed as well, a word on him. Absolutely flawless kicking. He converts it. England 36, France 12.
Katie, thank you very much. Speaking of big numbers, it's 17 in the Premier League this season for Erling Haaland. 2 more as Manchester City beat Brighton 3-1 at the Etihad. Pep Guardiola has been speaking to Gary Flintoff.
We make a good first half. In terms of our high pressing was brilliant, but otherwise they play a lot and really well. But the second half, the turning point when Riyad have the clear chances to score the third, and after we concede the goal in that situation, the emotions come there and stuff, and after we were lucky than Kevin making a standing goal.
Just finally from me, clearly disappointment last week, so was this the perfect response in terms of performance and result today?
I was not disappointed last week. We behaved like a real team in Anfield, and but of course it's important after the defeat, to be close to the top. Arsenal is unbeatable right now, and we have to be close there. It's important, to the 3 points today, because now Liverpool could not win, and of course Chelsea and United are playing, so many games between them, and it's important to our job. It's 3 games left before the World Cup, and we have to try to get it, because if we are able to do it, we are going to finish before the World Cup up there, not maybe top of the league, but up there. This is what I wanted, qualify for the Champions League, and after World Cup, start the real season, I would say.
That's Pep Guardiola. Crystal Palace lost 3-0 at Everton. Dominic Calvert-Lewin continuing his comeback with the opening goal. John Bennett's been speaking to the Everton boss, Frank Lampard.
We need to replicate it, and we've had difficult home games, there's no doubt. In our 5 before that, we played a few of the top 4. And a game today was one we wanted to go after and show what we can do with respect to Palace, because they're a really, really strong team. But yeah, it gives us a confidence and a bit of a template, but we have to replicate that, and this league's hard, so I'm not getting carried away. It pushes us up the table slightly in the short term. It's still tight there, and we need to just focus on ourselves and keep trying to do the same things.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin will get the headlines for his goal. What do you make of his World Cup chances? I mean, Gareth Southgate was watching in the stands today. Do you think he's got a good chance the way he's played today and with a few weeks to go?
I don't know that, because that's Gareth's choice, and I respect that. But because I have a care for Dominic, the first thing I want is him fit for us, because he does what he does today and affects the game and helps us win a game. And then the choice is for Gareth. He knows what Dominic can do when he's fit. And today I think he showed that, so that's all we can ask for at this end, and we'll see what Gareth decides when it comes around.
And finally from me, the connection was really there with the crowd, wasn't it? It was a superb atmosphere. They seemed to bounce off what the team was doing today.
Yeah, well, they do these incredible welcomes for us in recent games, and we feel then we're obliged, the part of the deal is that you perform. Today wasn't the welcome, because they can't do that every week, and we understand that. Today sometimes the onus is on us to play and show them early in the game particularly, and throughout a game, that we're here and we're playing for Everton with passion, which is what they demand, and players did that. Crowd engaged in it, and it was a good day.
In the Championship, QPR survived second half pressure to beat Wigan 2-1 at Loftus Road. They stay top of the Championship. Let's hear from their manager Mick Beale, who earlier this week decided to stay at the club.
When I was speaking to the people in the week, the people above me here at the club, people that I go to for advice and guidance, they actually took the QPR badge off and just spoke to me on a personal level. I spoke to them on a personal level, and I made a commitment here, 4 months ago? Yesterday was when I started. It's far too soon. You bring some players in, you explain to them you want to go on a journey with them, you say the same with some staff as well. So absolutely delighted to still be here, delighted with the 3 points today, because we looked a little bit tired and we had to work really hard for them.
What do you think changed? I think Stefan Johansson's injury might have been quite significant.
Yeah, I thought we just looked a little bit tired at times today, and there's nothing wrong with that. We put so much effort into Wednesday night. I thought Wednesday we were excellent. Today was a different type of win. You get the same 3 points for both, and I think that earlier in the season we might have conceded there and drawn. And so a very similar game against Stoke, we weren't able to take a chance and go and win. So I'm delighted with that. It's a young group. When you're not at your best with the ball and doing the nice things, you must make sure that you can win ugly, and I thought we did today.
That's Mick Beale with Emma Jones. Another goal in the National League. It's now Torquay 1, Altrincham 2. Loads to get into on 606 08085 909 693. You can get your calls in now to speak to Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. Good evening, chaps.
Good evening, Steve. Right then, Chris. Nottingham Forest, massive win. Steve Cooper, great win.
Yeah, want to hear from Nottingham Forest fans. You sort of needed that today, didn't you? I mean, is that going to be the result which really kickstarts your season? And can you stay in the Premier League? And from Liverpool's point of view, I thought after the City result, I keep thinking this, Rob, I think, Liverpool are back. They're not. Was it such a great surprise they lost today, looking at their inconsistency this season? What do you think, Liverpool fans?
According to you, in your newspaper column, Jurgen Klopp shouldn't have been on such a 10-game ban for that altercation last week. Let's go on to that. We've got time.
Yeah, we will, but there has to be, a really strong deterrent. Okay. Premier League managers cannot abuse officials and just get a one-game ban. Come on, Rob, you're better than that.
And I tell you what, Michael Beale could have been a Premier League manager, turn it down. What a job he's doing.
Yeah, refreshing. I mean, if you're a QPR fan, you're absolutely delighted with that. Michael Beale turning down Wolverhampton Wanderers and being loyal. That's a rarity in football, isn't it? Let's hear from Aston Villa fans. Steven Gerrard, he's gone. Who do you want in next? And Scottish VAR, what on earth went on today? I don't know. Let's hear from fans north of the border.
08085 909 693. Back to Jonathan Woodgate, who's with John Murray.
Thank you, Robbie. Yes, we'll hear from you later. I will keep updating that phone line for you to ring and talk to Robbie and Chris on 606. But yes, what we've been hearing about VAR in Scotland has been very familiar since the introduction this week. Chelsea's players have been out there for a little while here at Stamford Bridge. Manchester United players gentle booing as the red shirts emerge from the tunnel down below. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0 is the scoreline here. Manchester United the better team for most of the first half. But Graham Potter making his tactical change, bringing on Kovacic and taking off Cucurella, did change things. So these are the teams, still waiting for the second half to begin. Chelsea with Kepa in goal. Back four now with Azpilicueta, Chalobah, Thiago Silva and Chilwell. Then in midfield, Mount, Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho and Kovacic, Sterling and Aubameyang. There's the whistle from Stuart Atwell. Second half begins. And Manchester United with De Gea in goal, Dalot, Varane, Martinez and Shaw. There's a foul, Luke Shaw fouling his England teammate Raheem Sterling. The rest of the Manchester United team, Casemiro and Eriksen with Fernandes in midfield. That's not a bad midfield three, is it? Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes. Then Sancho on the left, Antony on the right and Rashford through the middle. Rashford had a big chance, well saved by Kepa. Chelsea breaking forward as they attack towards the Matthew Harding stand. To our right, Sterling receives it from Aubameyang. Sterling back to Jorginho, tried to dink it into the penalty area but got it all wrong. But then it's played forward by Chalobah, comes back to the halfway line. Thiago Silva wins the header. Aubameyang glances it on, but into the path of Luke Shaw, who's able to take the ball into control and pass it up to Sancho, who then passes it out of play. So Chelsea with a throw-in down the right-hand side. Be interested to see whether Chelsea, Jonathan Woodgate, can continue it to improve as they did towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, they just want more control. The first 35 minutes, John, like we saw, that they weren't in the game. They need to do that. They need to control the game, especially at Stamford Bridge in front of the home fans. With now Kovacic, Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek in the centre of the pitch.
Sterling, and then Mount couldn't find the pass to Azpilicueta at the pace that he wanted, but Azpilicueta is still there, gives it back to Jorginho. His cross is headed away by Martinez, and then Chalobah does well in the challenge and plays it to the right-hand side to Azpilicueta, but Sancho is quickly onto him. Loftus-Cheek near the right corner of the penalty area, and then Jorginho back into the centre circle. Groans from the home supporters. They're not so fond of this patient approach. They want to see more gung-ho Jorginho, now to Azpilicueta on the right-hand side, but that's a misplaced pass from Azpilicueta. Ericsson just stepped forward, cut it out. Bruno Fernandes hits a long ball downfield. Antony on the chase, but Kepa is able to get there first. He was the strong favourite, it must be said, the Chelsea goalkeeper, but Antony was at full pelt.
It's quick. I'll tell you what, Kepa read that situation so well. He's done magnificently well since Graham Potter put him in goal, but reading the game, he's good at that. He can play as well. That's what I like about Kepa. He can play. He's good in possession of the football.
That pass from Bruno Fernandes as well, that beat the Chelsea defender. There was just the one Chelsea defender there, and it is a question, isn't it, with changing from the 3 central defenders, Thiago Silva part of a back 4. Does that mean that he is, is potentially someone that Manchester United could target, if you can say that about Thiago Silva?
I wouldn't say that. I'd say more Chalobah, because he's not used to playing in a back 4. He's normally used to playing as a 5, isn't he?
Chelsea coming forward now on the left-hand side, Chilwell with Mount, but the combination of Casemiro and Dalot were able to deal with that, and it bounces out of play, and referee Atwell says the final touch was off Mason Mount, so it's a throw into Manchester United in their own right-back position.
And also with Chalobah, he's not a natural defender. Remember, he was on loan at Huddersfield in the Championship. He played as a number 8, or he plays as a number 6. It's only since when Thomas Tuchel came in. I think he was the one who started playing in right side centre back, wasn't it?
Yep, made his debut at the start of last season.
And now he's playing in a 4. It's different.
Ball bounces, fortunately for Chelsea, and a shot from Loftus-Cheek takes the deflection of, I think, Martinez, as it loops away over the top of the crossbar. It's a corner to Chelsea, but first to Bolton for the latest on England France from Katie Smith.
England 42, France 12. Spectacular, John. The loudest noise of the night is Dom Young intercepts on England's 10-metre line. This is a guy who says he can run 100 metres in under 11 seconds. He's taller than Usain Bolt, and that was something to watch as he sprinted 90 metres to score 6 tries in 3 England appearances for the 21-year-old. England 42, France 12.
It's on Sports Extra, you can watch it on BBC Two. Chelsea take the corner, short, chipped in over the back of Dalot, who allowed it to go because he knew it was going behind, and it's out, and it is a goal kick to Manchester United. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. I think Erik ten Hag might be going to make a change as well presently. So Manchester United, though, won't take it now. They take the short goal kick. The lines are open for 6:06. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton in position to take your calls. 08 085 909 693. Hashtag BBC 606. Text 85058. So talk about it with them, the day's events. You can read about it on the BBC Sports website, the football pages. Watch Match of the Day tonight after the news, and indeed download the 5 Live Football Daily podcast in the morning. Subscribe for free from BBC Sounds. Here's Jorginho playing the ball back to Kovacic, but Kovacic's pass is wayward, and Manchester United are back onto this. Manchester United, who've not lost since the Manchester derby, not lost since Casemiro came into the team to start as a regular. Here's Antony on the right-hand side, had that big chance towards the edge of the first half. Back it goes towards Varane now in the orange boots, the former Real Madrid man, Champions League winner over and over again. Not the only one, of course, they've got in their team. And another one of those not here at all, Cristiano Ronaldo. Here's Shaw on the left-hand side. Sancho back to Luke Shaw, but it's overhit and rolls through into the hoardings next to the Manchester United fans' goal kick. So Fred is coming on for Manchester United, and it's going to be Jadon Sancho who comes off. There's his number 25. So that's
you can see why he's doing it. So he'll bring Fernandes out to the left-hand side. He'll push Ericsson as the 10, and he'll sit with Casemiro and Fred as the 2 holders. But Fernandes will have the licence to play inside. So he won't be the winger. He'll play as an inside forward, close to Rashford and close to Ericsson. So they now can overload that area of the pitch.
So Fred, who had a run in the team, didn't he? And you were impressed, weren't you, with him the other night? Scored against Tottenham.
Yeah, I thought he was very good. I thought his energy, more than anything, and his endeavour to really drive Man United forward, especially from the Newcastle game when it was slightly flat against Tottenham. He was right on the front foot, chased down everything.
Still 0-0. Chelsea playing the ball back to goalkeeper Kepa, who's been one of the men of the match so far, which tells its own story. Ball headed out to the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes back to Shaw. Shaw to Bruno Fernandes, who looks up, right-footed ball into the box, onto the head though of Chalobah, who heads it out to the far side. Anthony has taken up possession for Manchester United, works in field, but then trying to slip it through for Eriksen, just passed it through to goalkeeper Kepa, really.
It's like a game of chess with both managers. Potter's made his change first half, now Ten Hag, who makes the next one to win the game. That's what they'll be looking at. But you can see both managers trying to get the better of one another at this time in the game.
Chilwell went for the early ball there, but put too much on that. There was no way Aubameyang was reaching it, so Manchester United come forward again. Fred onto the field, this is his first involvement. Jorginho comes across, puts that out of play. He's quite maligned, isn't he, Fred, by some of the Manchester United supporters. But I think what's telling is that the managers who've worked with him, it seems that they've all liked Fred, and I think they've all played him. You know, he's never been someone who's been left out for long periods of time. And of course, he starts for Brazil, and it looks as though he'll be in their team when the World Cup starts.
Because you can imagine he's the type of player who gives absolutely everything for the club. You can see that when he plays. Okay, sometimes lacks a little bit of quality, but he's a Brazilian international playing for one of the biggest teams in the world in Manchester United.
Shaw to Rashford, and then Bruno Fernandes came across, and the ball, as the challenge came in, it bounced away in behind. United were giving it all of the body language that they thought it was a corner. Referee Atwell said no, goal kick. Bruno Fernandes still waving his arms around, unhappy down there. And the television shows us that it should have been
a goal kick.
A goal kick. The referee got it right. Despite all of that, Bruno Fernandes. So Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. By the way, Torquay 0, Altrincham 2 is the latest in the National League kick-off this evening. And more Premier League commentaries on 5 Live tomorrow, as well as the US Grand Prix, incidentally, tomorrow evening. We'll bring you that live. But the two main games on 5 Live tomorrow, Southampton Arsenal and Tottenham Newcastle, and it is now Torquay 1, Altrincham 2. The other matches tomorrow in the Premier League, either on Sports Extra or commentary via the BBC website. Martinez takes this free kick now for Manchester United. It's headed away for Chelsea on the edge of the penalty area by Azpilicueta. Comes back to Shaw, who plays it in field. Casemiro is there. Casemiro works it forward, and then a flick brings the ball back to Dalot, who's making ground through the middle, but ran into a nest of blue shirts on the edge of the Chelsea penalty area, and then Loftus-Cheek was fouled by Fred, and it's a free kick for Chelsea.
A beautiful flick from Eriksen in the centre of the pitch there, and it was Dalot. I just thought he could have gone on a couple of more yards. I think it was Chalobah who just gets to him in the end, but a brilliant touch by Eriksen. He's the vision of Eriksen in that role. If he plays 8 or he plays 10 or 6, he still has a brilliant role in the team to play because of his vision.
Joga Silva's ball away, comes off Anthony and bounces out of play for a throw into Chelsea on the far side. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Throw in up the line. Comes off a Manchester United head. Sterling plays it out towards the left, and Aubameyang has got away down the left-hand side. The challenge came in on him, but the touch was crucial. Another lovely touch from Aubameyang to take it away from Martinez. Manchester United man that was initially beaten is still down, but Kovacic plays the ball into the penalty area. Oh, Sterling got it all wrong at the back post. He tried to lay it off with a cushion touch. It comes back to Sterling on the edge of the area. He plays it square, but the referee brings it back for a foul on Bruno Fernandes. In the middle of all of that, when Chelsea won the ball back for the second time, and the United man who's down on the far side, who I suspect is Varane, who was beaten by Aubameyang.
He just got turned, didn't he, there? Varane, I hope he hasn't...
Not another injury for
No,
Varane.
I hope not, because it's good to see him play a run of games with Martinez. It looks like he just got his feet mixed up. Well, he should be alright off that. Just looks like he trod on his foot.
Unless he jarred something, but I mean, he was just beaten.
Yeah, he was beaten. Then Martinez dived in, and Casemiro come across and put the fire out. That's what he's done all game. He's brilliant in that area of the pitch, reads it so well.
But Varane is still down, so this is causing a little bit of concern for Manchester United. while he receives treatment. Let's go back to Bolton and England, France, and Katie Smith.
England 42, France 18. It's a late consolation for France. They've been knocking on England's 20-metre line, though, in the last few minutes. Eventually laid off to Catalan's Dragons' Artur Romano. Goal kicked by Morg. We've got less than 3 minutes now to play. England 42, France 18.
So England on the way to victory. Hear it on Sports Extra. Varane still down. What are they looking at, Jonathan? It
must be something more serious than we thought it was him. I hope he hasn't hurt his knee. He looks in pain.
He's lying on his side. He's lying on his right side, and it was just a stretch with his right leg, and he planted his foot and then went flying. And it's very difficult to say. I mean, he does look in some distress, actually. Yeah. And I know that Erik ten Hag, rather like Ralf Rangnick and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer last season, he had injuries, and they've been careful with him. Erik ten Hag's been resting him, and he's now actually getting to his feet. You can hear the boos, but he's pulled his shirt front up over his face, and that suggests that he knows that this is not good. Yeah. And that to me as well has got potential World Cup problems. His reaction here.
Yeah, it's such a shame now. You don't want to see it happen to any player in the game. It looked innocuous at the start, didn't it, John, when you saw it? But then it looks like he's jarred something. I hope it's nothing serious. Because
this reaction makes it look as though he knows that this is serious. And this reaction does make it look like he knows that this is bad enough for him to miss this World Cup. Yeah. And at the age of 29, and Victor Lindelof is going to come on to replace him. And Varane is off the field now, and he's actually going to walk around the pitch. And he had the very front, he had his front shirt collar pulled right up over his face, which made it look as though there were tears there. But now he's walking away. He's pulling up the bottom of his shirt to wipe his face. He's got to walk all around in front of the Matthew Harding stand. So I'm not sure how sympathetic they're going to be to him there. Not terribly is the answer to that. And they're goading him there, which is not terribly pleasant.
I have great sympathy for him, because I've been in that situation when you've got back fit and you've worked so hard and you've sacrificed, and the next minute it's taken away from you. Your body lets you down again, and it's a terrible feeling.
Yeah, we'll have to wish him the best. He's actually going to walk around in front of the goal rather than go behind the goal. And the stretcher bearers are also doing likewise, yet play is continuing. David De Gea strikes the ball downfield, so that's the second Manchester United change. Varane is off with just over half an hour to go, and it does not look good for him. And obviously Harry Maguire continues to be out, having missed the last 6. And Chelsea coming forward now. Lindelof onto the field to replace Varane. Sterling running towards the penalty area, gives it to his left to Aubameyang. Aubameyang's ball across is blocked away. 2 defenders in there. Lindelof gets a slap of the hands from Diogo Dalot, and the ball's out of play for a throw-in near the corner flag.
It's the most we've seen Sterling today. It's been his reel. He just whipped it off Casemiro's foot and darted for him. When he runs like that, he's difficult to stop. His little choppy strides. Well, that's the most we've seen of him so far, Sterling. One of England's best players for this World Cup, I do have to say.
Throw in for Chelsea. Lindelof gets up high and heads it back out towards the far side from where the throw-in came. The Chelsea left, played back in towards the edge of the area. I notice Varane has just reached the halfway line here, the dressing room area. Ball with Manchester United, Fernandes. Fred plays it across slightly behind Anthony, but Anthony's able to recover. Give it to Eriksen. Eriksen square to Fred near the left corner of the box. Eriksen plays it in, but that was neither one thing nor the other, and it was straight through. I don't know whether he was caught in two minds, but if it was a cross, it was way beyond anyone in a red shirt, and if it was a shot, it was well wide of the far post.
2 minds or 4 minds. All he had to do, Shaw was coming like a train down the outside of him. I'm sure Shaw would have been saying to him, just hold it, now release it. I mean, he tried, I don't know what he tried there. John Cross comes short, but got it horribly wrong.
Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Long one forward from Martinez.
It's player Martinez, like,
you like
his
him?
eyes a player.
Yeah.
I love aggressive defenders who are always on the front foot.
Yeah. Well, this is, as we've been saying, Erik ten Hag knew exactly what he was going to get with him, having played for him at Ajax. And I'm sure we'll see him in the World Cup for Argentina as well. And no one's talking about his height anymore, are they?
No, because he's that dominant. I'd like to see Mitrovic play against him, or back in the day, Chris Sutton type. Oh, he's a very good player. He's very impressive.
You're going to have to compliment Robbie Savage at some point during this second half, otherwise there'll be trouble later. So you can think about that as Martinez plays it back to Lindelof, who's behind him, Shaw on the left-hand side, and then Fernandes passing it back to Martinez. And Martinez is chipped forward, is headed back by Loftus-Cheek, and Chelsea go infield from Loftus-Cheek, just curling it over the top of Rashford. Forward from Thiago Silva. Here is Kovacic. Kovacic now forward and low to Aubameyang. Back to Kovacic, with his pass slightly behind Chilwell. Dalot has gone out there to dispossess Chilwell, which he has done. Well played, Dalot again. He's had a good game. Back it goes from Casemiro to Lindelof. United still with it in their own defensive third, and in fact it's been won back by Chelsea in there, so the home side have got possession back, but under pressure on the halfway line, Thiago Silva gives it back to Kepa. So yes, if you want to talk to Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage tonight, the lines are open: 08085 909 693, or you can text 85058, or get in touch, hashtag BBC 606. Groans from the Chelsea supporters. Kovacic's pass doesn't find Chilwell, and it's out of play for a throw into Manchester United. And back to Bolton. England-France, Katie Smith.
Full time, England 42, France 18. Another big win for the hosts, which now all but secures their spot in the quarterfinals. 5 try scorers, some potential selection headaches coming up for Sean Wayne, but a couple of moments of sloppiness to address too. The atmosphere, though, better tonight. The momentum continues. Up next, Greece in a week's time. It finishes England 42, France 18.
Yes, coverage of all of these various World Cups between now and Christmas here on 5 Live and Sports Extra, and it is 4 weeks until the FIFA World Cup begins. 4 weeks tomorrow. 5 Live is going to be your World Cup station. From breakfast every day onwards, we'll have live commentary on all 64 matches, either on 5 Live and Sports Extra via Sounds, or on the World Service as well. So you'll be able to take the World Cup with you wherever you go on BBC Sounds all across the BBC, whether it's on radio, TV or online. Ball played forward for Sterling, but Martinez was in there again with
pure rash.
Yeah, straight in with a challenge, put it out of play.
So aggressive there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I bet Sterling hates playing against Martinez, because similar height, low centre of gravity, just as sharp as Sterling, I'd say, in 1v1 duels. Difficult to play against.
Well, what he did was, in that first passage of play after Lindelof came on, he ran straight towards Lindelof as opposed to Martinez, Sterling, when he was carrying the ball. Here he is again, Sterling on the right hand side, taking on Shaw, getting the cross into the near post, a stretching away from Martinez. Manchester United are able to get it away. Chalobah wins it back. Azpilicueta now down the right hand side. Mason Mount is there, plays the ball between 2 Manchester United men to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek's cross comes off the head of Shaw, and then loops wide and behind at the near post for another Chelsea corner.
That's 3 out of 3 duels in the second half that Chalobah's dispossessed. Rashford there, strong with that him, wanted it more on the front foot. Rashford needs to be strong in that position and get hold of the ball, and he's got to know there's a man behind him.
Chelsea corner. This one from the right hand side, so it's going to be Chilwell to take it in front of the Matthew Harding stand. Lots of Chelsea fans on their feet here. Chilwell swings it into the edge of the 6-yard box, but that's well headed away, got it well, headed it away, Casemiro. Chelsea, though, played back out to the right, but it's allowed to bounce and run down into the full-back position, and is volleyed to the halfway line by Bruno Fernandes. Comes back into the Manchester United half. Fred, Chilwell is there. Ball comes down for Sterling, and Chelsea have got it back inside their own half. Chelsea have had more of the possession in the second period. Manchester United much more on the back foot, but Chelsea really have yet to test De Gea in the Manchester United goal. Mount now on the right hand side. Mount looks up, but Fred's there in front of him. So he's trying to take it round him, which he does. Mount, round Fred, then the cross straight onto the head of Manchester United's Martinez, who heads it down. But then Bruno Fernandes plays it forward. Rashford's on his heels, but I mean, if he'd been full tilt, he wouldn't have got anywhere near that Bruno Fernandes pass.
Nah, but I can see what Bruno Fernandes was doing, because it was the right pass, but Rashford just looked like he was struggling for a second still from that Chalobah challenge.
So far, Chelsea have had just the one shot on target. Here's Bruno Fernandes through the middle, though, and Chalobah is able to slide. Otherwise, that would have reached Rashford. Manchester United come again. Anthony's almost doing juggling tricks with the ball without being aware of it. Gives it square. Now Eriksen with the ball into the penalty area. Rashford couldn't get there. Thiago Silva did first. He was the favourite, and he whacked it away right.
What a touch, John. What a brilliant touch by Eriksen. Just had a little bit, needed a little bit more direction, but the weight of it looked beautiful. But do you know what, Anthony doing that, it annoys me that, because there's no one near him, he's doing stupid tricks. It's a showboat, and it's like what you do when you're drawing 0-0 and there's no one near you doing a trick. Bit annoying.
United forward towards Rashford, who chests it off, but chests it straight off to Kovacic. But Rashford suggesting that he'd been fouled by Chalobah. I'm not so sure. Kovacic is able to carry the ball forward. Now Sterling's on the left-hand side again, and then in goes Casemiro with the challenge. Chilwell follows it up, plays it back to Kovacic. Kovacic moving infield, low ball to the edge of the area. Nice turn from Mount, but Lindelof got enough on that. Martinez got enough on that on Mason Mount, and United with Eriksen is able to get there first on the stretch. Here is Anthony taking on Chilwell. Chilwell forces him to check back to Eriksen, and then as he is put under pressure by Jorginho, Eriksen just drags the ball back and gives it infield to Casemiro. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Now it's Shaw, Luke Shaw, who I see these days has gone all Jack Grealish, hasn't he? Fernandes is claiming that he was fouled by Azpilicueta. Well, there wasn't a great deal in that, was it? I mean, whether he just sort of caught him on his heel or... In fact, I think he's saying that he pulled his boot off. He pulled the heel of his boot off. So referee Atwell spotted that, so it is a free kick to Manchester United. And he's making the point, Fernandes, of pulling that left boot back on, which he still hasn't successfully managed. So it's a free kick that Manchester United will take. The referee, after a couple of chats, allows them to take it. Fred with a heavy touch. Chelsea clear it. Mount now in the centre circle. Sterling on the left-hand side. Sterling is running at Lindelof, and then across comes the challenge from Casemiro, edge of the box. Sterling went down into the penalty area. Referee Atwell was probably 5-6 yards away, had a clear view and said nothing doing Chelsea. No free kick or penalty indeed if it was inside the area. Chelsea come again. Mount tried with the pass. This one was just cut out by Shaw. I think Mount thought he was going to execute that, but he wasn't able to. Still 0-0. Jonathan Woodgate.
The work Casemiro does there to help Lindelof when Sterling was 1v1 with him goes unnoticed, but those are the type of players you need in your team to do the work that no one sees.
Yeah, that's what you get for 60-70 million pounds. Sterling on the left-hand side, low ball in, that comes off the defender, Lindelof, and it's another corner to Chelsea. 0-0. I think there is a genuine question of whether we'll see a goal in this match. Both defences have performed so well recently. It's not a game where there's been a stack of goal-scoring opportunities. However, it does feel that it is very finely balanced. And here is the latest corner. Oh, that's poor from Mount. Miskicked it, and Fernandes was able to clear it away.
I do have to say, John, as we were eating our onion bhajis,
yes,
for
lovely.
Our pre-match, which were really
mini
nice.
Onion bhajis, they were.
Slight bit of spice in them. You did call the draw.
I did, yeah, and I think I might have suggested there might not be many goals as well. As the ball bounces out of play off the head of Bruno Fernandes, and it's a throw into Manchester United. So talk about either this or indeed what else has happened today. Nottingham Forest 1, Liverpool 0, the big early talking point. Some really eye-catching scorelines in the Championship as well today. Burnley winning 4-2 at Sunderland after being 2-0 down. Sheffield United 2, Norwich 2 after Norwich were 2-0 up. Free kick for a foul on Jorginho, 10 yards inside the Manchester United half. Bruno Fernandes, who's cutting quite a frustrated figure, actually, although it's Fred who caught Jorginho. QPR top of the Championship after their 2-1 win against Wigan. Blackburn won again, 2-1 against Birmingham. Here's Mount. Mount now playing the ball towards the left-hand side to Sterling. Sterling, little flick from him. Chilwell to the byline. Chilwell tries to put the crossover, but the defender went with him, and it was blocked behind by Dalot. And it is a corner to Chelsea. Their pressure is beginning to build, the home side pressure.
Yeah, it is. And Dalot's got his hands full there because they're trying to really overload him with 2v1s on Dalot's right-hand side. But he's doing well at the minute, Dalot. Much improved under Ten Hag. Better 1v1 defender. Gets lower in his body position, not so much upright.
Chelsea's latest corner. This is a better one. Deep to the back post. Chalobah with a header! And it's over the top. De Gea flung an arm up. I wondered whether he'd actually got a touch on that. But in fact, it clipped the top of the bar on the way over. Just clipped the top of the bar and looped over into the lower tier of the Matthew Harding stand.
Fred does enough, just enough to put him off. And that's all you can do sometimes if you're the smaller man. Just try and put him off. And that's what Fred did.
That's it for Aubameyang today. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who had one shot wide in the first half. So he's off.
Hasn't really been involved, has he?
Not really.
Martinez has done a good job on him for Varane when he was on. Hasn't really had a kick in the game.
So Pulisic coming on. So what are Chelsea going to do here? Mount's staying centrally at the moment. So Sterling on the left. I wonder whether Sterling might have been going to play as the false 9. But at the moment, well, let's just see how they play this. Does look as though Mount's going to play.
As a turn, could be a diamond formation maybe, with 2 wide strikers.
5 Live, BBC Sounds, Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. 4th against 5th in the Premier League. And Chelsea with a throw down the right. Shaw heads it infield. Eriksen's got it back. 15 minutes or so to play before 6:06. 08 085 909 693 to book your call. Here's Shaw down the left, and then Rashford is there as well. Rashford has Chelsea players either side, so it goes back to Martinez, and now it's back to the slightly hunched figure of Victor Lindelof on the ball, long sleeves, then across to Martinez, and then back to Lindelof again, who looks up. He's going to go for the long pass for Rashford, but Azpilicueta's underneath that, able to head it away quite comfortably. Jorginho with a header forward, Casemiro in centre field, Kovacic comes across, Dalot with a touch, then it's worked infield towards Casemiro and Eriksen together, and then Casemiro mishits the pass in centre field, so Loftus-Cheek has got it back, and then Loftus-Cheek's pass back to Azpilicueta, almost nicked away by Fernandes. It is Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes, who's going to try a shot from distance, and Kepa going down to his right had a good enough sight of it, but it did have a bit of whip on it, and he's just pushed it away behind for a corner.
Better safe than sorry, I think, on that occasion. It was a stingy one, and it was hard for him to get hold of it. But when I've watched Man United over the last 2 games, they're having some shots from outside the box compared to the game against Newcastle. They had hardly any shots. Last week against Spurs, and now against Chelsea, they will take shots if they're not closed down.
Still goalless here at Stamford Bridge. Eriksen with this Manchester United corner. Their first of the second half to the near post, easily cleared away by Azpilicueta. Torquay have come from 2-0 down to lead 3-2 against Altrincham in the National League. Ball in from Rashford towards Lindelof. Now back to Shaw. Shaw to Eriksen. Flick to the outside of his boot into the path of Fernandes in the full-back position, who is in an offside position. So a free kick to Manchester United, and 13 minutes to play plus added time. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. With every minute that passes, we're closer to the 0-0 draw, which would maintain Chelsea's unbeaten start under Graham Potter. This his 8th match in charge. Champions League for Chelsea this week. They're going to Austria. We'll bring you commentary on that on Tuesday night. Champions League commentaries on Tuesday and Wednesday. And Manchester United will be at home to the Moldovans, Sheriff Tiraspol, in the Europa League on Thursday evening. Manchester United with a throw on the halfway line that Dalot comes up to take. Dalot looking for Eriksson. The throw goes up towards Bruno Fernandes, who plays it back to Dalot, a stretch to keep it in, and back to Casemiro. And when Casemiro lifts the ball to his left to Shaw, and Shaw now running at the Chelsea defence, then plays it square. Bruno Fernandes goes for goal, and he's landed his shot in the top tier of the Shed stand. I think in the second row someone patted it back down. So that, as you'll gather, was not close.
Annoyed with himself there. You can see with his hand gestures, he's really annoyed with himself. It was a good ball in from Shaw. He just looked to open his body up. He opens it up too much. Smash it into the stand. If he'd looked to his right, Anthony was blazing down the right hand side and wanted the ball. That was the pass.
Interesting double change coming up from Graham Potter now. He's going to bring on Armando Broja. So having played for probably no more than 5-6 minutes with Noah Aubameyang, now Broja's going to come on, so he is going to have the big man there. And also young Carney Chukwuemeka is coming on, the 19-year-old as he is now, turned 19 on Thursday. Only his third substitute appearance for the former Aston Villa youngster, the England under-20 international as he is now, but really caught the eye against Brentford in the time that he was on the field. So Chelsea supporters here at Stamford Bridge going to be able to have a look at him. And it's Loftus-Cheek who makes way for Chukwuemeka. And Raheem Sterling is off. Hasn't happened for him tonight, Jonathan.
No, he has minimal involvement in the game. I do like Broja though. His loan at Southampton last season done the world of good. Just hopefully he keeps on getting game time now.
Still 0-0. Manchester United with the ball on the right-hand side on this dry evening. Ball played back for Eriksson. Eriksson's ball across, but that's got too much on it. Just balloons across, really. There was a defender coming across, but that lacked the quality that you might have expected from Christian Eriksen. And it's behind for a goal kick.
It was exactly like Azpilicueta's cross in the first half, wasn't it? And Fred's in the second half, going nowhere.
And now Manchester United are going to make a double change. So we're going to see Anthony Elanga and Scott McTominay come on for United. And they're going to do it now as well, before Chelsea take this goal kick. So the two who will come off will be Christian Eriksen. So McTominay coming on to replace him in the midfield. And you would presume that it will... It's actually Rashford. I thought it might be... it might be Anthony, but it is Rashford who's making way. And a little bit like Sterling, it hasn't happened for Rashford today either.
No, it hasn't. He's threatened a lot more, I'd say, Rashford. He needs to do better with his back to goal, because on a few occasions, especially in the second half when he was up against Chalobah, the stronger, physical, more aggressive opponent, he struggled.
So 0-0 and less than 10 minutes to play now, and Chelsea with Chilwell on the left-hand side. It's the kind of game that it's been, certainly with 10 minutes left to play. If there is to be a goal, that'll probably win it for whoever scores it. Chalobah to Azpilicueta, and now Jorginho and Azpilicueta and Chalobah turn and go all the way back to goalkeeper Kepa, who passes the ball out from the back. Could be a 6th consecutive clean sheet for Chelsea. Long pass from inside his own half out towards the right-hand side. Oh, Azpilicueta, as it bounces up, he tried to chest it down and only succeeded in chesting it straight out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United. Luke Shaw, as I say, with his black socks halfway down his calves, takes the throw. Fred turns Mount and then lifts the ball across field, and Dalot is able to get his head down and drive forward with it, and he's taken it up to the edge of the area, and it needed Jorginho to come in with the challenge and for it to bounce away back into the penalty area for Kepa.
Some pace on Dalot there. He ran away from Kovacic. You don't always see that, but he was strong there in his movement. Just that it lacked a little bit of, I'd say, weight of the pass, or his touch looked poor. But
he looks now what he's become, a Manchester United regular. Started all 15 this season. in all competitions. Mount loses the ball halfway inside his own half. McTominay across, Anthony with the touch, and then Casemiro is there. Casemiro away from Chukwuemeka. Kovacic is across as well, but Casemiro rolls it back towards the halfway line, and now Lindelof and Martinez together. Martinez across the field to Shaw on the left-hand side. Shaw back to Fred, and then Elanga. Elanga stabs it infield, but straight into the path of Jorginho, and Chelsea will play it out from the back. And Jorginho says to Chukwuemeka, off you go, and he does, and he carries the ball into the Manchester United half, but he plays it to Breuer, who's peeled away to the right-hand side, and now the Albanian Breuer takes on Martinez, who goes to ground and puts in the challenge and puts it out of play for a throw down the right.
See that 1v1 defending there, John?
Excellent.
You will not get better 1v1 defending than that. Low centre of gravity, moved his body the right way, moved his hips, didn't cross over. Brilliant bit of defending.
Throw in for Chelsea on the right-hand side.
It was worth a round of applause.
Yeah, you got a clap for it. Throw in for Chelsea. Azpilicueta takes it. Chukwuemeka. Then back to Azpilicueta. And now Pulisic on the right-hand side. Pulisic's cross comes off Shaw, who's 7 or 8 yards away from him. It's hit low with pace. Another Chelsea corner. This is number 5 of the second half. It would be the kind of game that's decided by a set piece, wouldn't it? And really, so far, I think the only save De Gea's had to make was that sort of deflected effort that came off Loftus-Cheek that was kind of played into him, which was a really comfortable save.
He's had minimal to do in the game.
Yeah, in terms of save making. Chalobah's had the header that came off the top of the crossbar. But corner from the right for Chelsea. Chilwell takes it in. There's a man gone down, and the referee says penalty. Breuer was fouled. Stuart Atwell got a view on it. He was decisive there, the referee. VAR will have a look, but the referee, I think, is very clear what he's seen here. Breuer foul, brought down, penalty to Chelsea with 6 minutes of the match to play. Manchester United don't like it, and actually it was McTominay, wasn't it? We're seeing now on the replay, he had his arms around him, Jonathan.
He had his arms all over him. It's lazy defending. It's like a bear hug. It's like a rugby tackle from McTominay. Like someone just going to run out the scrub and he's just taking him out.
And I think, actually, was it in midweek or was it last weekend when Perrault should have conceded the penalty?
Yeah.
And that wasn't given. And this one, I think possibly, well, I mean, it's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
It's lazy defending.
But certainly in the light of that Southampton penalty not being given, I think that this was nailed on. VAR are still looking at it, but I mean, if they don't back up the referee...
it's a penalty all day long.
It is. So Chelsea are going to have the chance. It'll be Jorginho likely, you would think. Surely it will be.
Yeah, you called it just before that, John.
Well, set piece, penalty.
But it's lazy. It's... Do your job in that area of the pitch. You don't need to grab hold of them.
It's still not... I mean, what's happening here? It's still the discussions are going on. And just get some feet here, because everyone's on their feet. And it's a yellow card shown, I think, for... Now, was that Fred maybe scuffing up the penalty spot?
Yeah.
Because all of the players gathered around the spot. And I think possibly they've spotted that Fred was up to no good in there.
The Brazilian scuffer.
Well... I've seen scuffers from you name the country, and Bruno Fernandes is talking to David De Gea, and what on earth he's telling David De Gea, who's not got a brilliant record, of course, of saving penalties, although he did save a couple last season, if you remember. He'd not saved a penalty for 5 years, and then he did save a couple last season. But this man knows what to do from the penalty spot. Doesn't always score, but he usually does. Jorginho against De Gea. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. This could be the match-winning moment from the penalty spot for Chelsea. Stamford Bridge goes silent, and now up comes Jorginho and scores. Sends De Gea the wrong way. Beautifully taken. Only the slightest of little delays in the run-up this time from Jorginho. But that was dispatched from the spot, and it's Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0, and there are only 3.5 minutes to play.
Yeah, good penalty from Jorginho, sent to David De Gea the wrong way, but McTominay, I don't understand what he's doing in that situation. It's just a bear hug, rugby tackle. It's a penalty all day long. But Jorginho steps up as usual. Pause. It's a lovely side foot into the back of the net.
Yeah, the bounce these days, the little hop, isn't quite as pronounced, is it? There was a stage where he actually, it was like a leap at the ball. Now it's just much less than that. It's more subtle.
And he looks straight at the goalkeeper as well.
So that is the 27th penalty that he scored for Chelsea out of a possible 31. Now that's a pretty good conversion rate. 3 this season, all of them from the penalty spot. And Chelsea lead Manchester United by 1-0. And the match that it's been, it's very difficult to see United coming back from this. So it looks as though it might be Manchester United's first defeat since the Manchester derby, as Shaw plays it forward to Fernandes. However, there is still time. Fred plays the ball in field. It doesn't reach Anthony. Dalot with a cross. McTominay with a header, but it drops wide by 4 or 5 yards. And again, Bruno Fernandes is suggesting there that it should have been a corner. But referee Atwell is having none of that. They're just showing us on the screen again the challenge from McTominay. I mean, really, that's an easy decision for the referee.
They didn't even need to check VAR, because that was a bigger penalty than you'd ever see one. It's a penalty all day long, really, when you see it.
That needed one look. Yeah, he's got that spot on. And the referee knew. It was an instant decision from Stuart Atwell. So there we are. Manchester United's run of clean sheets comes to an end. The first goal that David De Gea has conceded in 4 matches. And United now got to show the urgency. They only have a matter of minutes to come up with the equaliser, as Elanga plays it back to Shaw. Shaw has a look, will pass it back to Martinez. Manchester United, who've lost Varane's injury in the second half. That's a poor ball from Fred, and then Azpilicueta is found, but the referee plays advantage. Pulisic takes it on into the full-back position. United players are there, and the ball is allowed to roll out of play, and the referee is going to bring it back for that foul on Azpilicueta, and that's going to be a yellow card that is shown to Luke Shaw for what was a foul on Azpilicueta.
Yeah, it was slightly late as well. He deserved that, Luke Shaw. He deserved it, because he just tried to stop him, blatantly tried to stop him.
Yeah, that is an absolute. That's a yellow. That is as yellow as a yellow card.
Yeah, it's a luminous yellow.
Yes, it is. Free kick. Azpilicueta, of course. The other thing it does, it means that Azpilicueta's gone down. He's got a chance to take a bit of time here as well, and get to his feet and hobble around a little bit, and then drop the ball accidentally. Goodness me, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, but I have done. Now I'll have to lean over and I'll pick it up, and then I'll hobble off the field, and I'll take as long as I can to take this throw in with Chelsea 1-0
They'll just see the game out now,
yeah,
John.
That's what they'll do.
They're experienced bunch, aren't they? They'll just see it out.
Yeah.
Although they haven't been great in this game. They haven't been great.
And Manchester United, actually, they've conceded a throw in, Chelsea. And we're now into added time at the end of the match, and we've just missed the board down below out of our sight, so we'll see how long is to be added on. But Chelsea, just a matter of seconds really from seeing this out and winning it by the penalty. And here is Pulisic down the right hand side. 6 minutes of added time are being played. Lines are open. 08085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 606. Hashtag BBC 606. Give them a ring if you're on your way back from a match today and you want to talk about something, get something off your chest. 08085 909 693. Chelsea take the free kick down the right hand side. United are able to clear it partially through Fred. Then Elanga's in there as well. They're still in the full-back position. Elanga's been fouled. United take a quick free kick. Elanga's receives it and then runs on towards the halfway line, and he's away from Azpilicueta, and he was caught by Jorginho, and it's a yellow card. It's a free kick. Bruno Fernandes comes running across. Stuart Atwell says, don't worry, I've got this dealt with. You don't need to come and get involved. It's a yellow card. Jorginho for Jorginho, who was committed the foul, and then Martinez has got involved with him and shoved him over, And mind you, I don't think there was much contact there.
No, there was minimal contact, but
dropped to the ground.
If you're a Chelsea player, you're over the moon with Jorginho doing that, because he was dangerous there. Elanga.
Free kick into the edge of the box from Bruno Fernandes. That's headed away. Comes back for Shaw. Shaw takes this on, plays it out towards the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes with a cross. That's not bad looking. Martinez was there, but Thiago Silva got to it first with his head. Got to remember those saves from Kepa in the first half as well, Jonathan.
He kept them in the game, Kepa, first half. But since the change, since that, after 35 minutes, Graham Potter making that change, Chelsea looked a different team.
Throw into the Chelsea box. Thiago Silva on the stretch to head it away, and then it's hooked away further by Kovacic on the edge of the penalty area. So 6 minutes of added time. We're in the third of those 6 minutes. Manchester United, Graham Potter's trying to urge his team on, but Manchester United pouring forward down the left. Elanga's ball across, took a flick, might have come off Chalobah. Diogo Dalot's onto this. Dalot beats Kovacic into the box, pulls it across with his right foot, and Thiago Silva leaps in, dives in feet first, and clears it out for a throw to United on the far side. This is as thrilling as this game has got, really. We've now got some jeopardy.
Up time.
Throw-in for United into the penalty area. Leap for it by Anthony. Elanga with his back to goal tries to bring it down, couldn't do so. Chelsea nipped in and cleared. Back to Shaw. Shaw, that's a good cross. It's headed goalwards. Kepa got a hand to it. I'm not sure he kept it out. The referee says it's a goal. Manchester United have equalised in added time. Casemiro celebrates. There were two United players went for it at the far post. Lovely cross it was towards the back post. Things were being thrown on as well, I noticed there, as the United players ran to the supporters, but I've got a feeling that was more in celebration from the United fans. But Kepa leaping to his right, got a hand to it. It hit the post. He gathered it on or behind the goal line. The referee pointed to his wrist and said that the technology told him that it had crossed the line, and Chelsea have conceded a goal for the first time in 6 matches. And the replays that we're seeing now do confirm that. McTominay and Casemiro were together at the back post, but it was Casemiro with the crucial touch with his head. And it's Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1. And Casemiro has equalised with his first goal for Manchester United.
Yeah, the power he gets with that header, Casemiro, and guides it. I'm thinking it's nearly an incredible save by Kepa, full stretch. But you know, Casemiro, signed from Real Madrid, that's the team that don't know when to beat, and Casemiro's brought that to this Manchester United team. Never know when they're beaten. I thought Chelsea would just see this game out, but an incredible header in the end.
That was almost a wonder save from the Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa, but the technology revealed that it did cross the line, and we have had an equaliser. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1, and we are now in the 6th minute of added time, but after that lengthy Manchester United celebration, I suspect it'll go beyond the 6 minutes. Azpilicueta forward, surely not another goal at the other end. Mount stretching for it on the edge of the box. Breuer is in an offside position, and the flag is up, and it's a free kick to Manchester United.
It's a lovely header, wasn't it? At first I thought Kepa saved it, did you? I thought, oh my word, what a save that is. But it was just the way Casemiro rose above the defender, neck muscles were strong.
He actually grabbed it on the line, Kepa, having palmed it onto the post with his wrong hand, diving to his right. It's his left hand, he got to it and pushed it onto the inside of the post, but it bounced down. He grabbed it on the line, but the pictures, the technology certainly, and the pictures back it up. That
must have been millimetres, was it?
Close one. And that is it. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1. There's the final whistle. Late drama, Jonathan. It wasn't 0-0, it was 1-1.
1-1, you called the draw, John, but first half, Man United were the better team until Chelsea changed the shape. And then from there on, it was sort of a stalemate, a game of chess, each manager making different changes, going to different formations. But then they got the penalty from a lazy bit of defending from McTominay. Sort of a bear hug challenge, and then Jorginho puts the penalty away, makes it 1-0. Then they're just going to see the game out, but the ball goes into the box of Casemiro. He rises above the Chelsea defenders and buries the header. That player never knows when he's beaten. Signed from Madrid. Look how many Champions Leagues they've won in the last minutes of the game. And he does it.
So there we are, a 1-1 draw after Jorginho's penalty in the 87th minute. Manchester United equalising with a goal in the 3rd minute of added time from Casemiro. So Chelsea continue unbeaten under their new manager, 8 matches now under Graham Potter, unbeaten in those 8 matches. For Manchester United, they continue unbeaten since the Manchester derby. That's their 2nd draw in the last 3 matches that they've played, and they remain 1 point apart towards the top end of the Premier League. The Manchester United players go towards their supporters, but the final score here at Stamford Bridge: Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1, and now it's time for 606 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage.